everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I've got another scrapbook process video for you featuring the Kisses and Snowflakes kit from the International Scrapbook Garden. So today's scrapbook process is using a sketch. I showed it to you there just a second ago. It was based off a sketch that I saw Christy's Beautiful Life using. I think it was part of her 30 Days of Sketches challenge that she did in January. And what I liked about the way she used it was that she used tags behind one of her photos. So she actually only used one photo, but she used 4 tags, and I was like, oh my gosh, this Kisses and Snowflakes kit has this great 7 dots Studio Northern Lights paper, and it's got the 7 dots Northern Lights tags in it. So this would be perfect to try to replicate this sketch that I'm seeing using these tags. So it was super easy just to punch out those tags, and I was just trying to figure out what kind of paper to go behind the tags, because each tag has a different pattern on it. And obviously it all coordinates, and it's all really cool. I love the patterns on it, especially the ones that kind of have like the, I don't know, it's sort of like a sparkly, glittery, starry feel to it. So I was just trying to figure out which papers I would go best with the colors of the tags and the patterns of the tags. And obviously I was using 2 photos. I had to trim them down quite a bit. So I knew that my photos were going to cover up the tags a little bit. So I ended up going with, I think those papers were Frosted and Frayed Knit. And unfortunately with that, that one that you see in the foreground is like, kind of reminds me, it's of like trees. The back side to that is like that Starry Night kind of paper. And if I'd really been thinking about it, I probably would have saved the Starry Night paper because I really, really liked that. So maybe I'll have to go out and buy that paper again for myself, because I really, really liked that. And I was kind of sad when I was kind of like cutting into it and going, oh my gosh, oops, I shouldn't have used it. I shouldn't have used the other side because I liked the Starry Night side. But anyway, well, it doesn't matter. So here I'm just, this is the paper. I'm trying to make a frame for it because I was trying to save and not use so much, because I thought, well, I'm going to have that other paper in front of it. So there's really no reason to, cover up so much of it if I can cut out like a square from the center of it. And of course, I totally screwed it up. But as somebody I know in the scrapbooking world said, there are no mistakes in scrapbooking. So I do end up making it work. So as you can see, I was just showing you the branding strips, which were telling you the names of the papers that I was using. So I made that little frame there, and then I'm just going to cut down the frayed knot paper, which is such a clever name because it's like frayed knot, so it's spelled like frayed, is like you would fray like a sweater, because it's sort of like wintry, and there are a couple papers that have sort of like sweater type patterns on them, but then it also is sort of like I'm afraid not, like afraid. And it sort of, it looks like you're lost in the woods or something. Maybe you're afraid. I don't know what they were going for with that. But whenever I see that, I always think like, is it supposed to be like a pun, like a play on words or of some sort? So I don't know. If you work for 7 Dot Studio and you have insight into that, let me know. Anyway, so here in the process video is where things get tricky, because if I had been thinking about this properly, I would have done my mixed media first. Here is a tip. Always do your mixed media first. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was doing this during nap time, and so I was just really trying to move things along, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. My brain just doesn't work sometimes. That's what was happening. Ever since I had a child, my brain doesn't work. So that's what's going on there. But anyway, you're going to see me put down all of my tags, and then you're going to see me try to do the mixed media. And that's just wrong. That's not the way to do it. And actually, at some point, here I go. So the mixed media I'm going to do is the clear gesso with those little, I don't know specifically what they're called, like prills or something. They're like little beads, and they're like purpley, so they go really well with some of the colors in that Northern Lights collection, and with some of the embellishments that are in the kit, because the kit is very like kind of like pink purpley. I just kind of wanted to mix them together because the clear gesso is going to act as like a glue, but because it's clear, it's going to dry clear. So then all you're going to see are those little purple beads. So I had done this before with some other stuff on other layouts, so I was just going to use the same technique here. But of course, I'd already put my stuff down, and so yeah, you're going to watch this and you're going to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I break out the shimmers, which I love. That color, that Grape Escape, is like amazing. It's a vibes color. It is gorgeous, you guys. It is so absolutely gorgeous. But again, like, I shouldn't have laid anything down. I should have done all of this first and then let it dry. It's just a crazy mess. Luckily, my camera cuts out. I think I ran out of storage space or something at some point. So my camera does cut out, and you don't have to watch me going through the craziness. You are spared. You are spared at some point. Just bear with me. And it does turn out okay. I promise. It does turn out okay. But yeah, this is a testament to always kind of like thinking more through the layout first, especially if you're going to do mixed media. Because mixed media is difficult, and there's always like that waiting process where things have to dry. And like some of the papers, depending on the adhesive that you're using, sometimes you have to change the adhesive because, like those little beads, like regular double-sided adhesive isn't going to stick to those. So you're going to have to either use like your hot glue gun, maybe tacky glue is going to work. But sometimes I have trouble with the tacky glue, even, so you're going to need something, glue dots, you're going to need something stronger than just a regular double-sided adhesive. So when you're doing mixed media, you really do have to like think a little bit more. And so it can be daunting to do the mixed media, but it is worth it in the end. And when you do see the finished result, you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. So I end up, as I'm trying to like make something work here, I did add a few little snowflake stamps. I think it's like an Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo snowflake stamp set that was super cute. So I added a couple of those stamps just kind of here and there. And I'm going to back my photos here. One of them I'm going to bump up on some craft foam, which was like a super great idea because it was able to kind of bump it up above some of that mixed media, some of those purple dots. And you can see, like, before it was very gesso heavy, but because it was a clear gesso, it dried clear. So now all you see is that texture, that purple dotty texture. And it still doesn't really look like much right there, but I'm going to add I've got some embellishment clusters. While I was waiting for it to dry, I kind of worked on my embellishment clusters so that I knew as I was coming back into it, I kind of knew I would have already in advance what embellishments I was going to use and in what arrangement I wanted them to be in. And so that, that saved me some time. And which is a great thing because when you have a small child and the only time you have to scrapbook are nap time and bedtime, and yet you have like a bazillion other things that you're trying to get done during nap time and bedtime, like work and cleaning and showering, and you don't always have like 5 million hours to just sit around and scrapbook. So here I'm just trying to, as I say, I made those embellishment clusters in advance to make it so easy. And here I'm like, what am I putting it? I had one of those 7-dot Studio word stickers. I end up moving that down and adding in a Primo word sticker in its place. You can't really see it because the camera is cutting it off, but down below there's another little tag from 7 Dots that I had put down there where the journaling was, and so I moved the 7 Dots word sticker down there. So here I'm just using my hot glue gun to put down all of the embellishments. I use some of the 7 Dots punch out die cuts, and I put some of the adhesive gems on top just to kind of give them a little bit of extra pizzazz. I love those little arrows that were in the Pre-Mozilla Teal ephemera pack. They were so cute. I'm trying to think if you missed anything, because again, like, my camera kept cutting out. I keep running out of storage. I'm using my phone to do these, and I keep running out of storage space. I don't know what to do, you guys. So I guess that's it. So here are the close-ups. Make sure you subscribe. Links are below. Don't forget to get your own Kisses and Snowflakes kit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.